Hey, it's been quite a while, so I'll just reintroduce myself to everyone. I'm Ben. I usually post on Sundays, but for the past few weeks, I have basically been swamped and really have not had the time or energy to really sit down and make a video about the topics we had that would be even worth posting. This week's topic is sort of coming out while you're in school. I didn't come out until halfway through grade 12 in high school. Really, the only people I came out to were my close friends, who thankfully, for the most part, were okay with it. And I mentioned the name change to my teachers, but I had chosen at that time a very androgynous name, so it was like a scapegoat in a sense, because I didn't really have to go through all the nitty-gritty with anyone. It just seemed like I was going by a different name, and I also had a friend at the time who wasn't trans, but who started going by a different name as well, so in a way I didn't really have to deal with a lot of that initial coming out stuff, even though I was sort of coming out. So that was kind of nice, especially because it was high school, and people in high school can be really mean. Well, I mean, people can be mean everywhere, but usually in high school it's pretty bad because you're all stuck together and none of you really want to be there. So when it came to university, the first university I went to, Dalhousie, was really awful for it. First, they put me in a double room with a girl. I had to request a transfer to a single room because I was automatically outed, and I had like some guy banging on my door threatening to beat the shit out of me. So thankfully they were pretty quick about moving me to a different dorm. And so that was fine. Like, I never had any other issues there in residence. But then I was like had to explain things to professors and tutorial assistants, which was a nightmare because I didn't have my name legally changed. I was just sort of still exploring names, so I didn't want to like go through the whole process and pay all that money if I wasn't positive that that was the name I wanted. And I actually had so many problems with professors and tutorial assistants. All of my professors would mark it and then like scratch out Dylan and put down the name on the register. And I actually talked to one laboratory assistant about it and explained to her that I went by the name, that's what I was comfortable going by. And she was like, well, that's not what's on the register, so we're going to go with what's on the register. And it was just unbelievable to me. It was like, how can people be like, what is wrong with people? I don't, anyway, so I hated Dalhousie. It was really not a good place for me to be. So I took a year off, and during that year off, I started testosterone, and I was just living at home, which actually turned out to be a really good thing for me because it let me kind of go through all the changes in a way that wasn't super public, and it kind of let me handle things in a safer atmosphere than, say, a residence dorm. And so then during that year off, I sort of was thinking about what I wanted to do, and I ended up applying to a few universities, and I chose to go to York University, where by the time I got there, I was 9 months on testosterone, so I was passing 100%. I didn't really have to worry about coming out at all, and I also had my name changed the previous spring to Benjamin. So it, all of a sudden, to my knowledge, all of that sort of, all that stuff just went away because I was lucky enough to be perceived as male 100%. So yeah, that's kind of, I've never really had major issues with coming out. probably or at least in school anyway, I was outed a significant amount without my knowledge. I found that out this past year, and that was a fiasco. I actually made a video about it on my private channel, kind of somehow managing to summarize 4 months of shit in a 10-minute video. So if you're curious about that, in sort of what can go wrong in a college atmosphere, that might be something you want to check out. Transcripts. Transcripts are a big issue because I had to go and get my name changed on my Dalhousie transcript and on my high school transcript. Dalhousie, I just kind of faxed that stuff in, so I didn't actually have to deal with anybody face to face. But for my high school transcript, I think they had like volunteer students or something doing it, and she looked like a volunteer student. She looked really, really young, and she definitely made, like, it was very clear that she was like, what the fuck is this? Like, why is this person changing their name to Benjamin? So that was a little bit awkward, but I just remember try and be as polite as possible, and you don't have to explain anything. If you have the legal paperwork there, then you don't have to say anything to them, and they don't have any right to ask you about that at all. In terms of handling dorm life, sorry, I'm not really doing this in a logical order, but dorm life for me, once I got to York, it was okay because they have a lot of co-ed dorms. I think so yeah, for me it wasn't really a big issue, like showers, using the washroom, it's all single stalls, single showers, you know, so it was fine. Let's see. Would I come out in college? I think university and college is generally a better place to come out, mostly because you can sort of find those open-minded individuals or those groups of people that will accept you. Whereas in high school, somebody can say to your face that they won't tell anybody, or that they're totally okay with it, and then turn around and tell the entire school or talk all kinds of shit. High school, it does not really, or most high schools don't really facilitate a safe atmosphere at all. I personally just went to your average public school, so I don't know like what it would be like in a private school setting to come out, or maybe in a more arts-based kind of high school. So anyway, yeah, I hope this wasn't too rambly. I'm sort of like jumping back and forth as I try and kind of piece together what my academic career has been like and sort of coming out related to it. But yeah, I hope all of you are doing well. And again, I'm really sorry about having missed so many topics. It just, I had a friend staying with me for a month, and I'm in my final year of my program, so it's just been like crazy amounts of work. And I also was applying to a bunch of law schools, and all those applications were due on or before November 1st for some of them, and October 15th for a few others. So thankfully it's done. I'm free from that. So anyway, this is 10 minutes long, so I'm gonna cut this short, and I'll see you all later.